There's no denying that Mapleshade is one of the most popular cats in the entirety of Warrior Cats. If you added up all the maps she's been in, it should tally almost as much as Firestar and Ashfur. What makes this truly miraculous is that she's considered a side character. She has way fewer book appearances than main characters such as Leafpool, but somehow manages to have way more maps. So, what led the fandom into falling in love with this gruesome she-cat more than any of the main characters in the series? Let's discuss. Before we get started, if you're new to this channel, please think about subscribing. I regularly post both Wings of Fire and Warrior Cats content, so you'll never be bored. And to my current subscribers, thank you so much for supporting me. I wouldn't have gone here without you. Now let's take a look at what may have sparked Mapleshade's mini fandom. The initial attitude towards Mapleshade may have been so intense because she was the only badass she-cat in Warrior Cats for a while. The main demographics of Warrior Cats is female, so you are more likely to like and relate to the character with your own gender, hence her becoming popular. Of course, there are other badass she-cats like Brightheart and Sandstorm, but they were never really allowed to be gruesome in their killings. Girls are often expected to be nice, and that carries over to murder, but Mapleshade turns that on its head and tries to be as mean as possible, and she kills gruesomely, such as killing a medicine cat in a holy place. She's also in a position of power. Until Tigerstar came along, she was the leader of the Dark Force, and between Tiger and Ash, she was likely also the unofficial ruler. The ratio of male to female leaders in Warrior Cats is not the best, and she helps offset the balance. In addition, she-cats in the early arcs tend to be overlooked a lot. For example, before ThunderClan leaves to go and fight BloodClan, Firestar monologues over how good his clanmates are. He makes sure to single out all the Toms, however besides for two she-cats, the girls only get a brief summary. For a while, she was the only female villain too. Even right now, there's only one other villainous she-cat, Sleek Whisker. We've gotten around to equal book time from both, however Mapleshade is definitely cooler and is the OG. In the early fandom, there was actually a lot of bias and misogyny towards female characters. Scrollfly was hated, Doubling was Mary Sue, and Ferncloud was hated for doing literally nothing wrong, and she got killed off her too. In roles where female characters were despised, Mapleshade was a character you could unabashedly be a fan of. Mapleshade almost certainly dominates the evil aesthetic as well. She lives in Cat Hill, she trains cats there, she's practically the leader. The earlier Warrior Cats fandom embraced the emo culture, and she fit in like a glove. She also had a vague enough design that people could easily make up their own interpretations. My favorite two of all time have to be Marshall Deer, especially the Dark Force version, and Krogostar's Lullaby's Orange Mapleshade. To some, Mapleshade is sympathetic. She has a simple, easy to understand motives on the surface. Her kids were killed, her husband cheated on her, and she was banished from her clan. Who wouldn't get revenge? Mapleshade's vengeance is written from her very biased perspective. Due to the younger age of the fan, not a lot of people could recognize that bias and took her word as the truth a lot of the time. This wasn't actually a major problem in the early fandom, but 3 to 4 years ago, Mapleshade apologism popped up. They believed Mapleshade was in the right, Frecklewish and Ravenwing were purposely malicious, Appledusk was a cheater who should go to the Dark Forest. In one map, he was even dragged there to serve his time. Some people even considered Mapleshade to be a better cat than Appledusk because he was a cheater, and her killings were considered justified as it was just getting a revenge on the cats who played a part in her kid's death. Strangely enough, they never realized it was Oakstar's say to exile the kids alongside the mother, instead of keeping them in the clan. Since then, we've thankfully gotten a lot better with reading comprehension and can recognize Mapleshade for unreliable narrator she really is, and that not everything she says can be trusted. Nowadays, people have a lot less sympathetic approach to her, and rather enjoy her victims, especially Frecklewish. Warrior Cats can get complicated quick. When it comes to some stories, you need a lot of context. You can't understand the dilemma of Leafpool's kids if you don't know the Warrior Code, for instance. Mapleshade's story isn't that complicated, and it's a universal tale that a lot of cultures have. A grieving mother goes mad, kills people, and turns into a ghost. The last two may be swapped, but a lot of cultures still do have it both ways. This universal cultural similarity means a lot of people can relate and connect to her story. The fact that it's so simple also is a lure for AMVs and PMVs. There's a lot of action and not much context needed, so if you want, you can just skip straight to the murder spree. And I know a lot of maps do that. Mapleshade was a character practically designed to ensnare the early Warrior Cats fandom and have them make maps and AMVs. That is what the general appeal is. But why do you like Mapleshade? Comment down below. If you like this video, feel free to subscribe. I make Wings of Fire and Warrior Cats videos pretty often, and your support would mean a lot to me. And to those who are already subscribed, thank you for your continued support. I wouldn't have gone here without y'all. That's all. Peace. Rogan out.